we shouldn't just apply Scripture. Now, hang on. Don't call me a heretic just yet, okay? There's a difference between applying Scripture and being transformed by Scripture. When we say we apply Scripture, we're talking about this cosmetic change. We're talking about putting a new outfit of clothes on. We're putting on this sticker to cover something up. It's just a surface level cosmetic change. Instead, we ought to be talking about being transformed by Scripture. In the Romans 12 idea of not conforming to the patterns of the world, but being transformed by the renewing of our minds day by day. So then we can attest to the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God. When we think about how are we transformed by Scripture, it only happens by intentional pursuit. James 1 talks about this when in verse 22 it says, "But be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks intently at his natural face in a mirror. For he looks at himself and goes away and at once forgets what he was like. But the one who looks into the perfect law, the law of liberty, and perseveres, being no hearer who forgets, but a doer who acts, he will be blessed in his doing." If we were to just apply Scripture cosmetically, we'd look one way when we're around people and look differently when we're at home by ourselves. We haven't experienced this life change, but we're just instead trying to follow some of the commands in Scripture because we think it's a good idea. It'll make us look nice. It'll help us out towards achieving a better job or better relationships or something like that. But it's just a cosmetic change, a path to receive something for ourselves, to gain something in this world. When on the other hand, we aren't just hearers of the word, we're doers of the word. When we look intently into the perfect law, the law of liberty, and persevere in that, we're pursuing Christ. The thing we are trying to gain is Christ. We're pursuing his words because he is the way, the truth, and the life. We're following in his words because they are eternally true. And his words transform us. It's not just so that we can go and get a better job, improve our relationships, or as this kind of self-help idea. It is that we can know Christ more and that he knows us. It is that we live so intently in Scripture, letting it transform us day by day, that out of our living of that Scripture, the being doers of the word, other people see Christ. It's not about us, but it's about living in a way that glorifies the Lord. And that doesn't happen when we just put on a new outfit. That doesn't happen when we just apply Scripture cosmetically. We'll only live that life that glorifies the Lord when we go and we are transformed by his word. When we get down on our knees and say, "Lord, I am terrible at this. I don't do this. I cannot do this on my own. You've asked me to live this way. This is hard. You've asked me to follow you. I don't know how. Lead me, change me, transform me. I want to be more like you. I want to lay myself down and deny myself. I want to take up your cross. I want to follow you every single day. When I walk away from Scripture, I don't want to forget about what it says. I want to live by it, and I want to remember your perfect law, that law of liberty. I want to be a reflection of you. So I have one question for you. How are you going to not just apply Scripture, but be transformed by Scripture this week? If you don't know what that looks like, if you're looking for some steps to take, if you have more questions, send us an email. Let us know in the comments. We would love to dive into that conversation with you. We want to help you on your journey as we are all going together, trying to stare intently into this perfect law and show the love of Christ to the world around us.